I'm out here on this beautiful mountain biking trail to talk about a powerful idea, and that is the incredible impact that cycling can have on your happiness. Back in 2014, a book hit the New York Times bestseller list called 10% Happier, and it really got me thinking. It was written by ABC News correspondent Dan Harris. For those of you not familiar, Dan Harris was on Good Morning America as a news correspondent when he had a mental breakdown, and it was quite the moment.
People who take cholesterol-lowering drugs called statins for at least 5 years may also lower their risk for cancer, but it's too early to prescribe statins slowly for cancer production. That does it for news. We're going to go back now to Robin and Charlie.
Later, he wrote this book, and it chronicled what led to that moment and how he dealt with it through meditation. And it makes some claims through some studies that support it, that meditation can make you 10% happier. Now, 10% is a pretty objective measure for something as subjective as meditation, but I like it. I really like the book. And stick with me here because I'm going to connect it to cycling. Now, if you're not familiar with meditation, meditation can be described as really just taking the time to clear your mind. In fact, clearing your mind so much that you're not thinking. You're not even thinking about not thinking. It's hard. And as much as I learned from that book, I just couldn't get myself to learn to just consistently meditate. Now, I probably will get to the point where I can meditate, but it's going to be a while, I think. But something occurred to me after reading that book, and I'm sure it happened while I was sitting there trying to meditate, trying to do what meditation is all about, clear my mind, not think about thinking. About that moment, I thought, I do meditate. In fact, almost every day. I'm meditating when I'm cycling. So after that, especially when people asked why I rode my bike so much, I would tell them it's my form of meditation. I mean, when I'm on my bike, especially when I'm riding a little bit harder, it's hard to think about anything else but breathing and pedaling. And I really become present. And so I really do think there is something to cycling being a form of meditation. And it turns out I wasn't just making this up. There's a growing body of evidence that shows that aerobic activity, especially cycling, offers incredibly similar benefits as meditation, both psychological and physiological. Cycling leads to significant stress and anxiety reduction, improved mood and elevation of depression symptoms, enhanced cognitive function, making us sharper and more focused, and that feeling of just being in the moment. That increased mindfulness and focus. But it's not just how we feel subjectively. There's objective changes happening to our brain plasticity, actual measurable changes to the brain that are helping us with hormone regulation. I'll put links to the studies in the description below so you can dig deeper if you want. But if you're a cyclist, you probably don't need a lot of convincing. So if cycling is like meditation and can make you 10% happier, then what about the combined effects of cycling and vigorous exercise? Well, you guessed it. There's a lot of scientific evidence that shows that vigorous exercise, particularly things like cycling, really contribute to happiness. These studies are in the area of neuroscience, psychology, and public health. And they talk about something they call the Happieness Cocktail, which is a combination of chemicals that really have an impact on our brain and how we think. For instance, something you've probably already heard of is endorphins. And that's something you get when you're exercising vigorously at about 70 to 85% of your maximum heart rate. And it's nature's way of giving you a pain reliever and a mood boost. It goes away pretty quickly though, so it's really happening during exercise. Serotonin and dopamine, however, which improve your mood and appetite and sleep lasts much longer, hours, even days. And cycling does a fantastic job of increasing those levels. Now, this last one's a little bit of a tongue twister. It's an andamine, and it's a cannabinoid. It's much like cannabis and has a lot of similar effects, the calming effects you might get from marijuana. There's a natural occurring substance in your body that gets promoted when you're cycling or doing vigorous exercise. So yes, those of you who say cycling is your drug, you're onto something. But the happiness cocktail is just part of the story. There are a lot of psychological and behavioral impacts that cycling has been proven to improve. Cycling reduces stress. It improves your self-esteem, gives you that great sense of accomplishment with every ride. Outdoor cycling connects us with nature, which is scientifically proven to improve our mood. And of course, if social interaction is something you're after, cycling can facilitate that. So yes, cycling does have a lot of the same benefits that meditation provides. And it also provides physical benefits. We haven't even talked about the physical side of this. That's what I want to get into next, because that's where the 20% comes into play. Think about it. Reduce risk of chronic disease like heart disease, diabetes, obesity, even certain cancers. Improve physical function and mobility, allowing you to do more what you love doing for longer. Better sleep quality, which directly impacts our mood and resilience. Weight management, resulting in better self-image. And finally, increased energy levels, making you more active and engaged in life. These are monumental contributions to happiness. When you feel better in your body, you feel better in your mind. So if meditation can make you 10% happier and get all the benefits of physical exercise from cycling, it gives you another 10%. You guessed it, I'm doubling down. I'm saying cycling makes you 20% happier. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna go do a little meditating. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on the idea, and I'll see you next time.